Good evening, Yeshivat Shalom Bayit. Yoshnim? Everybody's sleeping today. Okay, Baruch Hashem. They don't know what to do.
This goes only in the morning.
Huh?
This goes only for the morning.
No. Good evening. We go.
Cannot
We wake
do it
up.
in the evening.
You have to wake up. You guys don't wake up. We have a problem. Okay, go back to the page Yud. Be'ezrat Hashem, the cycle continues. Pirkey Avoth never ends. Pirkey Avoth is to be learned the entire year, but especially during the summertime, especially during the summer times, unfortunately, because of all the calamities that face the Jewish nation. Most asonot, Rahman al-Itzlan, the children come during the summertime in camps, Rahman al-Itzlan. So the best thing is, the Chazal instituted for us for protection. People don't understand. Torah, people have to go through suffering. People have to go through suffering. The best suffering in the world is what? Torah. A person could choose his own suffering. Magielo, it comes to him, he deserves. Rahman al-Itzlan, every second I don't do Torah, I get Avera. Every second, unfortunately. So what's the best way to remedy your suffering that you deserve? Every person deserves everything. There's a cause and there's a reaction. So what's the best thing is to learn Torah. You come to learn Midrash, there's a shiur. Over here, 20 minutes before Mincha, there's going to be Mishnayot. Baruch Hashem, we got Mishnayot. Or six sets of Mishnayot. Learn Mishnayot. I don't understand nothing, Rabbi. I don't understand. Good. You sit and learn, you break your head. That's your suffering that will atone for the Avirah. And you don't have to get punished. People don't understand that. Same thing, Pirkei Avoth. Yeah, Pirkei Avoth, so easy. Out of this world. Yesterday I was learning the Perek Aleph. Out of this world. Who would think? Antignos Isocho is attacking Rabeinu HaKadosh. Rabeinu HaKadosh is obviously after Rabeinu Antignos Isocho. There's a very famous machloket. Mishnah Gimel here, we're learning in Perek Aleph. Before we start, Darkeinu B'Kodesh, we do with Rabeinu Yonah. But before we start, there's a machloket. What's the machloket? Antignos Isocho says, Hevu avdim et Hashem. You should serve Hashem, right? Don't. What's the lashon? Exact lashon. Listen, this chidush came to me yesterday on Shabbat. I was learning it. Out of this world. Until the Shloch says, "Al tiyu kavadim chamshamshin et harab al menat hakel pras." What is Antignos Shloch saying? He's actually arguing Rabeinu HaKadosh. What Rabeinu HaKadosh says? Rabeinu HaKadosh says like this: the following. You ready for this bomba? Rabeinu HaKadosh says you're not allowed to give tzedakah to poor people who are amaratzim. You're only supposed to give tzedakah to people who learn Torah. That's Rabeinu HaKadosh. His idea, his shita was, he holds le kedarko b'kodesh. What does he hold? He holds that all the tzarot of Am Israel are caused by the Amaratzim. So he says, why should I give my money to Amaratzim in the time of drought when there is no money? Because they cause that there's no money. So why should I support them? That was his opinion. Antignos Isocho says, so what is Rabeinu HaKadosh saying? Rabeinu HaKadosh for sure will not argue that if a poor person comes to you and says, I want to eat, you don't check him. You don't check. Is he Yirat Shamayim? Does he do Avirot? Does he do Chas v'Shalom, all the big Avirot? You know the guy is hungry now. He wants to eat. You don't check nothing. You give him food. So obviously, Rabeinu HaKadosh is not going to argue on this shot. For sure, he hold that what? That you give any poor person food. He needs food. You give him food. What's the difference? He learns. He doesn't learn. Obviously, Rabeinu HaKadosh didn't hold that. But what did he held? He said like this. He said, it's a bigger mitzvah to support Talmid Chacham who is hungry right now, and not to support the poor people who are hungry, who are maratzim. So where did he held? He held his money is going to gain him a bigger reward for supporting a Talmid Chacham. Here comes the Antignos Isocho, already predecessor, 150 years earlier. Antignos Isocho says to Rabeinu HaKadosh, you're wrong. Al tiviu avadim chamshamshin et harab al menat hakel pras. I don't care about the pras. So the pshat is, Rambam, and people don't understand this. When an ani comes to your door, let's say you are Baruch Hashem Le'anara, we are all bankers. In reality, it says Chafetz Chaim, in Sefer Aval Chesed, many places, we are all bankers. What does banker mean? You earned $100,000 a year, clean, everything is paid off already now you have $10,000, zakat, $20,000, whatever it is, you want to become richer, you give 20%. Now you set aside $20,000. Now comes the test. Till now it's not a test. You came to 20%. You give to the capital. We put on account $20,000. Comes an ani and he has to make a winning. Comes in and he has making a winning, and you check out who signed on him. Rabbi Yitzchak Yosef, Rabbi Yosef. He has all the haskamat in the world. This guy needs money. Comes to Rabbi Butter. Rabbi Butter needs all the homework. 100%. This man, never. He has to wear you off 2 daughters. He needs $50,000 right now. Okay, he comes to you. Here, I need the money. Halacha, mechuyav, Rambam says you have an obligation to give him $20,000 on the spot if you have $20,000 to give. No questions. What people do today? I'll give him $1,000. Why should I give him $1,000? Because 19 other guys will come. You already make cheshbonot.
Who gives 1,000?
Relax. Okay, you give 100. Okay.
We'll give 18. What 1,000?
No, I'm saying the person who set aside money. So he gives one. Let's say $200 now. Let's take the $200 stays. He gives the guy $200. The guy's so happy. Did he do mitzvah? According to the Babich Rabbi, he's the Navera. According to most poskim, he's the Navera. I think the is the Navera. Why? What happened? He has an obligation right now. Why did he give 200? Look at the cheshbon. Look at the wrong cheshbon. You don't understand. I met with billionaires. The heads are so crooked. If I'll give you the rabbi what you're asking now, there's 1,000 like you. I can't give them what they need. What they're going to be asking. I said, Ribbon Shalom, the guy is so fukrum. The guy is so crazy. You're not going to give me what I need, and you're not going to give anybody what you need. The halacha says Rambam, you have to give him all his torko. More than that, Rambam says, if you're going to give him $50,000, it's not going to bother you, you're obligated to give him.
If one of those 18 people used to come every month and you won't be able to give them, so what are you doing there?
Don't give nothing.
They count, but
there's no count on this. There's no such thing. Tzedakah, there's no counting. I write books. Here, you want to see you want to see my books? People promise me how much? I'm still waiting for the money. Okay, that's what it is. What are you going to do? We don't count on anybody. Baruch Hashem, whoever gives, that's why. Baruch Hashem, we'll get things alone. There is no such thing. You have an individual obligation. So it's antigdus socho. Why you gave $200? Because you want to get a bigger schar. Because somebody told you if you give 100 anim $200 instead of giving one guy $20,000, it's a bigger mitzvah. Do not serve God because you want to get a reward. That's the machlokes. Because in Rabeinu HaKadosh, learning. Pirkei Avoth. You learn every time you learn something chidush. This chidush came to me yesterday Shabbat as I was learning with my family Pirkei Avoth. Out of this world. And he's actually arguing Rabeinu HaKadosh. Out of this world. Okay, let's go. Wow. So the shiur is the Hashem today.
דבר קשה, אם יש פה בן אדם, באה כלה, עכשיו צריך לתת לה סיפור, כל הווילית שם אין להם לאף אחד כסף, כל אחד שם $100, נהיה כסף, נהיה
Baruch Hashem, יפה.
נו, אז מה?
No, we're not talking about that. We're talking about a person when he has it in his bank account, and he could give her, according to Rambam, not tzedakah money even. According to Rambam, an anis test in Yopetcho, and you could give him all kids, whole tzorko, and it's not going to scare you, it's not going to bother you. It's an avera to let him go. It's an avera to give him $1,000. An avera to let him go, just like that, because I did. I get more than anybody else, but that's not
He shows up to your office, you're busy working.
What?
He shows up to your office, you're busy working.
And what does Hashem do all day?
No disrespect, but he's
What does Hashem do all day? What does he do? He's much more busier than you. You know how hard that is?
You're in a meeting, these people
You know how hard it is? And yet Perry comes, Shacharit, Mincha, Arvit, Hashem give me, and Hashem listens to you. Non-stop.
No, you're in the middle of your office. They just show up.
Habibi, it's work. I'm not going to tell you, it's easy. Mechavetz Chaim says 8 times in the Torah. It doesn't say many mitzvot, but I've repeated it so many times. 8 times in the Torah, you must be like Hashem in this world.
So
There is no other mitzvah that has it. Huh?
Every time you ask us for books and we have money in our pocket, we have to give it to you.
No, I didn't say that. Not obligation. Books is not supporting somebody's food, not supporting making a wedding.
Okay,
We're talking about, again, supporting, let's not separate. Let's separate. Chafetz Chaim, Rambam are talking about individual needs right now. Books, if you have the money, you want to participate, it's a good schud. Now, we're going to have a lot of Rabbanim on YouTube. I know many books are the best thing to buy because that people are learning. Of course. And there's great things in it. But if a guy needs a house, a house crashed. It's my fault that his house crashed, and I'm calling everybody in the community, give me money for the books. Everybody's answering me. Habibi, Rabbi, you don't know what's going on? I said, yeah, okay. With that, Baruch Hashem, he's getting help. Everybody's getting help, Baruch Hashem. Like, that's what it is. That's what Am Israel is. Am Israel Kadosh. Let's start Rabeinu Yonah, but shiur responsive לרפואה שלמה לליבי בן אהובה. לא, ליאור בן אהובה, ליבי בת רחלי, יוסף בן מרים, משה בן לידיה, רפואה שלמה. Anybody? חיה בת לאה?
חנה בת סול.
חנה בת סול, רפואה שלמה. Okay, let's go. So the rules is, That's why I just threw that out. Because every time you learn Pirkei Avot, there's something chidush all the time. So Perek Aleph Mishnah Vav. Everybody on the same page? We're gonna do the Mishnah, and then we're gonna go to Rabeinu Yonah downstairs. Yoshua ben Parachia benita ha'arbeli kiblu mehem. So who are they mikabel Torah? This Yoshua ben Parachia and Nita ha'arbeli are accepting Torah from Yosef ben Yochanan Ish Yerushalayim, right? And from his contemporary Yosef ben Yezer. So those two. So what happened was like this. It's a big. It's amazing. It's amazing that till now, if you take a look, there was Moshe Rabeinu, one leader. Yoshua, one leader. Zkenim, one leader. If you take a look in the Shoftim, there's one leader of Am Yisrael. What happened here? What happened here? Now there's already started a division. This is from where the division started, from Mishnah Dalet, right? Mishnah Dalet already started a division. What is this division talking about? Now, again, most probably, there's a different explanation. Baruch Hashem, through my learning Torah, I give out different, beautiful. I think it's a very good explanation. Also, is that I learned that it's a fact that a person lives in each community. For instance, you live in a certain community, and everybody has buckets in a certain way. Some communities have buckets like this. Some communities have round buckets. Some communities have square buckets. Right? So now, when you're learning in the yeshiva, and the Rebbe is telling you something, an object, he's telling you an idea, so each individual, through his life experience, understands what the Rebbe means something else. And that's called, actually, by the way, we learn later on, Machloket L'Shem Shamayim. What's a Machloket L'Shem Shamayim? Machloket L'Shem Shamayim is when a Rebbe said something, right, in this town, and now he has two different Talmidim, they don't understand what the Rebbe meant, and each one has his own idea, his understanding. They're allowed to argue. But if, let's say, a Rebbe sits over here and he teaches, let's say, for instance, Rav Ovadia Yosef in Eretz HaKodesh, Parat Yosef, Yeshiva. Rav Moshe Feinstein learns in Europe, right? Rav Moshe Feinstein and Rav Ovadia Yosef, their machloket is not Hashem Shamayim. No way in the world. And by the way, they never argued. Who are the arguers? The students who are picking and choosing between what Rav Ovadia said, what Rav Moshe said. Oh, now there's an argument. There's no argument. Rav Ovadia Yosef stating what he's learned in his Ashitat, his understanding of the Torah. Rav Moshe in his understanding of the Torah. And in that town, this is what Shayach in their town. This is what Shayach in their town, right? So now, there's no machloket. You have to follow. Later on it says, who told you have to mix in? The major catastrophe happens in Am Yisrael is when you have a mixture. Rav Ovadia's book came out, Rav Moshe's book came out, the Talmidim are coming, they're arguing. Who said? They were the best of friends. Who said they're arguing? You hear what's going on here? So now, same thing here happens. You have two Talmidim who are accepting Torah from the Rabeinu. So now each one has his own ideas of say a certain lifestyle, and now he's encompassing it into the Torah that he accepted. So now Yoshua ben Parachia says like this: Aseh lecha rav. So a person, every individual must make for himself a rabbi. Aseh lecha rav, meaning I have a rabbi. I tell you outside of the world before we go to Rabeinu, yeah, my rabbi never chose my 100% always against me with my wife. Anytime I have a problem with my wife, we call up the rabbi. He always goes with my wife. But, and by the way, when I learn with him Torah, halacha, I bring him all the proofs that he's wrong. Is not the way. Halacha is not like what he says. And yet, whenever he tells me the halacha, I keep my mouth shut. I do what the rabbi says. Aseh lecha rav. Aseh lecha rav means you are telling to Hashem, you talk to me through him. Because I'm a big Avtan. I'm the biggest chief in the world. Rabbi gives me one thing, I could bring him halacha from there. But when it comes to do something, l'maaseh, when you have to act, you ask the rabbi and you say, Hashem, please talk to me through him. And acquire for yourself a friend. What's a friend? We'll see in a second. What does that mean? Well, you have to buy friends? We'll see. Because when I was growing up, all your friends are because of your money. Remember those your fathers were saying? Right? I give you $100. So how many friends you have going to to the movie with you. In the olden days. Movies were like $1 or something.
Nothing has changed.
Yeah. So, I don't know. So all the friends are about money. Okay, we'll see. The Mishnah says, judge everybody favorably. So this is the Mishnah. Let's go to Rabeinu Yonah down there. Yoshua ben Barachia ben Yitai Rabbeinu kiblu mehem mi Yosef ben Yoezer mi Yosef ben Yochanan. So Rabeinu Yonah is already Rabeinu Yonah is giving it easier for us. Don't look all the way back to Mishnah Dalet. I'm going to tell you who were the teachers. Their teachers were Yossi ben Yoezer and Yosef ben Yochanan. Yoshua ben Barachia Omer Aseh lecharav. What does that mean? I should make myself a rabbi. Okay? This is now Rishon talking, and there's a lot to digest over here. But let's delve in. She'afilu ata yodea kamoto aseh oto rav alecha. Exactly what I just told Akdama. Even if you know like him, you know who the Briskerov was? On a side note, Briskerov, nobody could fight with him. Anything you tell him, he'll bring you or you. And basically, next to Briskerov, you're not allowed to talk. The only thing you're allowed to say, Bereshit bara Elokim et hashamayim et haaretz. Finished. Can't talk next to him. You say a word, and he'll look at you like, what? What'd you say? Where'd you get it from? Who told you to say that word? He will bring you Rishonim, Achronim, everything against your word you just said. Best thing is to be quiet. The Briskerov. Nobody could argue him. But however, he came to Yerushalayim. He moved to Yerushalayim for Brisk. You know what he did? He made himself a Rav. He made himself a Rav. He called up the Rav of the city. And he says, do me a favor. Do me a favor. By the way, he ate matzot. Burned like a crisp. This phone was lighter than his matzot. Okay? You see, the phone is a little bit lighter. It's not so black. His matzot were black. He was always in doubt. It's not ready yet. Maybe it's going to chametz. So he had a rule. The rule was that whatever he called the Rabbi of Yerushalayim, he says, do me a favor. Whatever I ask you, you answer. Don't dare tell me how you got it. Just don't tell me. Tell me halakha mebai. That was the deal. That was the deal. He was the biggest. There was no gaon like Briskerov. There was no gaon in the world like him. Okay? So, just less talk, the better. What's the halakha? Bye-bye. מפני שאדם זוכר מה שלמד מרבו יותר ממה שאדם לומד מעצמו. You hear what's going on here? The rabbi sometimes forgets. Why? Because he's always expanding and giving over. The students actually listen more and remember more. Like I come to my rabbi sometimes. He tells me one thing today. I say, wait a minute. 3 years ago you said something else about the sea. What? You remember? I said, yeah. Want to pull up a video? Want to pull up an audio? 3 years ago you said, we spoke about this topic. That was the answer. I came to one Rav, Gdolador, Mamash in New York. And I gave him, he had a problem with Rambam. He gave a whole shmooze in the on Shabbat. So, after I woke up from there, I came over to him. I said, oh, by the way, remember that Rambam you spoke? This is the answer. He looks at me. I never spoke about this Rambam. You never spoke about it. You spoke in front of me, in front of 100 people about this Rambam, and you had a question, and I'm telling you right now, this is the answer. I don't remember speaking about that Rambam with you. Okay. That's what it is. The student, why again, remember, the Rebbe is learning from the Sefer, he's teaching you what the Sefer says. So the student sometimes has a different Havana. And it says, what did Rabeinu HaKadosh said? From who did he learn the most? Habibi, who did Rabeinu HaKadosh learn from the most? I'm asking you. Rabbi, you. Who did Rabeinu HaKadosh learn the most from? Says from his students. Mitalmedai yoter mikulam. The Gemara, there's a left and right. The Gemara says, many places, that the Rebbe learns from his students the most. That's what he means here. Even if you are in the same wisdom as your Rebbe, choose yourself a Rav, and you decide, Rabbi, whatever you answer will be the halakha, and I don't care, because I know Hashem is talking through you. Okay? Whoa, he left right before. It's very important. What is this? Acquire yourself a friend. For 3 different reasons, a person needs a good friend. One of the reasons why you need a good friend is l'divrei Torah. You open the Sfarim and you learn more and more. כמו שאמר, הרבה למדתי מרבותיי ומחבריי מרבותיי. You hear what he's saying? As it says, you need a chavruta to learn Torah, and with them you polish each other. You learn more even from the rabbi. We just mentioned. The second reason why you need a friend, lemitzvot. What does that mean? Even though your friend is not such a more, not more diligent in mitzvot than you. And sometimes what happens? He does things that are not according to halacha 100%. That he does something that he's not allowed to do. אבל אין חפצו רצונו שחברו יעשנה כי אין לו הנאה בזה, כמו שאמרו, ואין אדם חוטא ולא לא. נמצאו שניהם חוזרים בתשובה כל אחד על פי חברו. You know what's going on here? That sometimes, listen, I'm not so careful about certain mitzvot, right? Chas v'shalom, I don't want my friend to be in that same category. No way. Oh, so but then the friend is on the other side, and they're both helping. They're helping each other, right? I wouldn't go to a mixed wedding. I don't want to go to a mixed wedding. Okay, so my friend doesn't want to go to the mixed wedding, right? Because of me. And now, B'ezrat Hashem, you don't need Bethel. And they found the reason. Why we're not going to a wedding? There's a wedding, and the whole town is going to the wedding. Why we're not going to the wedding? Oh, we have chavruta. You know the best excuse everybody tells me at night. Rabbi, I have shalom bayit. At night, I want to learn in the morning. I want to learn people. Hello, people, stay learning. We have classes. Parnasa, Rabbi, I have to go to work. At night, shalom bayit. When you're learning, come on. We have beautiful midrash, beautiful svarim. Many more new svarim. Baruch Hashem, thanks to our sponsors. What's the another third reason that you need a friend for advice? שיקחנו להיות לו מאיר לעזור בכל ענייניו ולקחת ממנו עצה טובה. Again, you're going to need your friend to get good advice. ולהיות בן סודו אחר היותו עמו בברית ולא יגלנו לאחרים לבל יפרו מחשבתו. And also, let's say you created an idea, right? You want to do a business idea. You can't share it with everybody else. You want to share with your friend to see what does he think about this business idea. Sometimes you share with the wrong people. All of a sudden, they tell you be quiet. All of a sudden, 3 days later, the guy is running the same business and making millions. Huh? What happened here? Okay? If you know that every person who you talk to is obviously you have to find that person, and that's what it means. Meaning that he is devout to you. That's what it really means. Means he's devout to you. He's not devout to your money. He's devout to you. הפר מחשבות בין אין סוד וברוב יועצים תקום. Okay? As it says over there in Mishlei, הפר מחשבות, to defile the thoughts, באין סוד, וברוב יועצים תקום. Right? And again, if he's an appropriate friend of yours, he will give you a proper עצה, give you a proper idea and advice that it will be actually successful for you. Okay? ומה שאמר וכדי לך חבר. What does that mean, kniya? Oh, so this is Rabbi Asaf's question was. What is this language, kniya? What kind of business is this? By friends? So now he's explaining. Rabeinu. If you can't find a friend even for free, you find them with money. What does that mean? A person should sacrifice from his own belongings in order to have a good friend. Or it means kinyan. What's another way to acquire an individual? Be his friend. Be nice to him all the time, as we see many times. A good smile could make a lot of friends. And don't make fun of him when he makes mistakes with his language. Right? I lost a friend like this. I had a good friend. Right? We were learning Torah once. Not learning Torah. I was working on my Tehillim project, and. I feel sorry. Every time I call him, he doesn't pick up the phone. Right. Anyway, so what happened was, I asked him to. I'm talking to you. I had a chavruta for 20-something years already. What happened was, I sent him the Tehillim. I sent him the. I had basically what I did is I restructured Tehillim. I divided Tehillim into 253 sections for 253 children to say it in like 2 minutes to finish the whole Tehillim. We have a whole program. So I started to read. I needed somebody to proofread everything with me. So there was mahloket now in reading. The word was osei, with the ayin vav sin and yud, right? And you had the cholam on a vav, so it's o, and the sin has a tzereh, and the yud in the end. So I told him it's reading osei. He tells me no, it's osei. I said, what are you talking about, osei? Osei is with a hey in the end, not a hey yud in the end. Mm-hmm. And my mistake, I made a foolish comment. I lost the friend forever. Because we got a full mamish. He's making a wedding, he's not even right at the wedding is his daughter. The daughter, he talked to me so many times about so many questions. I answered them like this and like that. If he hears me, please forgive me. Never pick up the phone on me. Never. I made a stupid question. I said, how you read Osei? Osei, you crazy? That's not what you read. He got very offended. It was private. It was not public. I didn't publicize that he's making a mistake. He went from this rabbi to that rabbi. Everybody told him this is Osei. He's not reading it right, correct. So since then he's not talking to me. So he says, don't be makpid. You want to keep friends? Don't be makpid. Don't make fun of your friend, even if he is making a mistake. Swallow things. You'll keep him. Don't embarrass him. Because otherwise, you're not going to have friends, and you're not going to have love. For everybody has different opinions. So then why you making fun? Oh, he was not doing properly the reading. Hashem forgive me for this. We're talking about chavruta that I got a smicha in 1999 with 1999. I'm talking to you. It's 23 already. It was 1997. Chavruta. I really did. I got it from the friend. I find out he's marrying off his daughter. I call him to say Mazal Tov. I send Mazal Tov. I send messages. He doesn't block me. He just doesn't reply. Like that's the worst part. If he blocked me, it's one thing. I'm gonna send Yonah Yom Tov. He's gonna make peace, maybe. He knows how to make peace, Baruch Hashem. וזהו שאמר שלמה עליו השלום, מכסה פשעה, מבקש אהבה ושונאת בדבר, מפריד אלוף. What's going on here? מכסה, let things go. let things go, don't be קשה. רוצה לומר, המכסה שכשאיפשה חברו מבקש אהבה, even if his friend made a mistake, ask for love, כי על ידי זה תתקיים אהבתם ויסבול פשעיו. ושונה בדבר, אם חברו אומר כנגדו וחוזר אותו ואומר, ראו מה אמר פלוני, מה דיבר עליי, מפריד אלופו ממנו רוצה לומר אוהבו. So again, so this is what we're talking about here. הקפדה, you were exacting, talk properly. Okay, let it go, חלאס. No, you open your mouth, לוז החבר, שחרר, והבדן את כל האדם לקו זכות, and judge every person favorably. Let's finish this mission with Rabeinu Yonah's beautiful words here. זה מדבר עם אדם שאין יודעים בו אם הוא צדיק ואם הוא רשע. Now, we are not certain who is this individual, what is his behavior, and he did something very strange. Even then, you have to be very careful. What's going on here? Can't just judge everybody. ואם מכירים אותו והוא איש בינוני, and if you know this person is in the middle road, פעמים עושה רע ופעמים עושה טוב, he does sometimes good, sometimes bad, ואם יעשה דבר שיש לדונו לקו חובה ויש לדונו לזכות בשיקול. No, in this case, when a person is in the middle road, even if he did something bad, still, do judge him for the favor. או אפילו לידי לפי הנראית נותן לקו חובה יותר, even though it seems that he did something bad, because, he's always in the middle, average guy. אם משום צד העניין יכול לדונו לזכותו, יש לו לומר לטובה לתקן. נתכוון. So he has to be very careful to say that this person really is doing it for good. אבל אין הדברים בצדיק גמור ולא ברשע גמור. However, it's not the same applies for a tzaddik. Somebody who's always righteous, and always somebody is rasha. It's not the same. What does that mean? כי הצדיק אפילו במעשה שכולו רע ונוטה לקו חובה מכל עבר, ידינהו לטובה לאמור כשגגה הייתה שיצא מלפני השליט, והנניחה מהביט וביקש מחילה. A righteous person, even though he did something very bad, what? The guy walked into a gentleman's club here, somewhere off the highway, I-95, you see those big signs, gentleman's club. And you see this guy is a tzaddik, mamash, he is Yirat Shamayim, he's learning and he's davening. He comes to learning at 5 o'clock in the morning and he goes to mikveh and the whole thing in the world, right? He walks into the gentleman's club, something happened there. You have to make a cheshbon and you say in yourself, you know what? He did tshuva for it, he was remorseful for it, he did tshuva. For sure he's not doing it again. That's it, finished. Yeah. וכמו שאמרו זכרונו לברכה, אם ראית תלמיד חכם שעבר עבירה בלילה, אל תהרהר אחריו ביום. As Gemara says over there in Masechet Brachot Yud Tet Amud Aleph, that if you saw a tzaddik doing a עבירה at night, don't think in the morning. Why? שמא עשה תשובה. שמא מסר כדעתך. The Gemara says, what do you mean maybe he did תשובה? אלא אמא ודאי עשה תשובה. For sure he did תשובה. Even though he did עבירה, it grabs, sometimes the Yitzhara grabs people. For sure they do תשובה in the end. פירוש שמא עשה כדעתך. כיוון שהוא תלמיד חכם ואתה לא יראה דבר קלקל עד בידו. Listen, he's a תלמיד חכם and he's always צנוע. Today, it happened. Whatever happened, I don't know what happened. But it happened. Then the comes. Maybe all the stores were closed, you need to go to the restroom. I don't know. They told me in Florida, if you go to the bathroom outside in the street, they give you tickets also, right? Like in New York. Yeah?
So what happens if you go to McDonald's? You gotta use the bathroom.
Gotta go to the, that's right.
So if somebody see you going there.
I go behind the building and finish.
No.
What are you going to do? על כל פנים, מיד עשה תשובה. Right away, הנה לך כי אין לדון לקו חובה, הצדיק גמור לעולם. Why? Because the tzaddik, right away he does תשובה, there's no reason for you to judge him. וממנו לא צריך לומר, והבא דן את כל האדם לקו זכות. And okay, and it's not, it really, we don't need more than that. For him, and it didn't talk. The Mishnah is not talking about him. The Mishnah is talking about the person who's in the middle. Because tzaddik is always letov. Okay. גם אם מן הרשע גמור לא אמר, for sure the Torah is not coming to tell you, hey, this rasha, no, today really he didn't mean to hurt anybody, right? This guy hurts everybody every day. Must say, he hurts people. He does people, he stumbles on people. Today he did something that was going to hurt people. Or, no, he really didn't mean to hurt people. Why? Because today is different. Why? If he's always intentional to do right, the evil, so he, of course don't look up zechut. There is no lekab zechut such a person. So there's no such a thing as lekab zechut such a person. Okay? Next, says Rabeinu Yonah, אפילו מעשהו כולו טוב. Even this rasha, ואין נראה לחוש עליו משום צד על עוון יש לאדם לדונו לקו חובה. Oh, he's telling you more than that. All of a sudden this rasha is coming, and he's doing something good. So why is he doing something good? His intention is for the bad. Right? Says, you should know his intention is bad. Because he's always doing bad something. So it seems to you like he's doing good. לחובה. ולומר לפנים עשה ואין תוכו כברו, he's actually faking. כמו שנאמר כי יחנן קולו אל תאמן בו, כי שבע תועבות בליבו. He has many desires in his heart. וכך כתב רמב"ם ז"ל, ועל עניין זה אמר שלמה חוכמתו, משכיל צדיק לבית רשע, מסלב רשעים לרע. You have to know that you have to speculate that this rasha, he has evil intentions, even though it's doing something that sounds good right now. You have to be very careful. As it says over there, he's bringing you the psukim, maskil tzadik, lebet rasha, misalev rashayim l'ra. The rashayim are always constantly preparing something to do evil. הוא רוצה לומר, בני אדם חושבים, כי הצדיקים מפני שאינם יודעים לעשות רעה. אינם מכירים דרכי רשע, כי לא יבינו העושים אותו. ואין הדבר כן. So in reality, some people think what? That the tzaddik, the righteous people, don't know what evil is. Don't know what evil is, right? So they what? אינם מכירים דרכי רשע, כי לא יבינו העושים אותו, because they're not going to understand what they're doing. ואין הדבר כן, it's not true, כי הצדיק משכיל לבית רשע, a righteous person knows what the rasha's intentions are, ויודע ומכיר ומשגיח רוע מעלליו, יותר משאר בני אדם שיודעים ולא ייתנו אותו על ליבם. The tzaddik, a righteous person, will always read a rasha through and through, and he will justify it. So there is no mitzvah. Rabeinu Yonah says there is no mitzvah to judge a rasha lekav zechut. There is no mitzvah because, right? מסלב רשעים לרע, הצדיק כשרואה מעשה רשעים נראים בדרך טוב, מסלב אותו וממתהו לדונו לאמור פעל אבן, כי לא נתכוון למצווה אך לשום עצמו בחזקת הטובים. Again, so you're going to say, oh, Rabbi, how do you know? Rabbi, tzadikim know, Baruch Hashem. People who are righteous, they could differentiate. So Rabeinu Yonah says here, who is this implying to? Who are we supposed to judge all the time in lekav zechut? The people who are Benunim, the people who are regular people, they do sometimes this, sometimes that. And there they have a mitzvah. But to judge Rasha favorably will always stumble us. Thank you.